Hey guys, you asked for an update after using these for a full year. So in this video, we're gonna go over my review of having used the Dye Performance knee pads for the entire 2023 season. I'm gonna tell you what panned out well and maybe some critiques that I have. Stay tuned. All right, so as a lot of you saw, I chose to wear the Dye Performance knee pads for the 2023 season because I came back in 2022. 2022? Yeah, came back in 2022 and I needed new knee pads. The ones I had were nearly 20 years old. Actually, I think they were more than 20 years old. Yeah, they were more than 20 years old. So I needed new knee pads and I went through all the choices without seeing most of them in person. I did see some of them in person, but I went through all the ones based on the product description and the pictures, and I tried my best to pick what was going to be the best pair of knee pads to protect my knees, which everyone of every age should be wearing knee pads when they're playing paintball. At least if you plan on doing any kneeling, especially diving, sliding, anything like that. But if you ever plan on spending any time on your knees, you need to wear a proper knee pad. So that goes for every single person watching this video. I don't care how old, young, or fit you are. So I chose the Dye knee pads because that was the last brand that I had experience with, but also this is one of the few brands out there that really touted just how dense and well padded the pad was. They described it as a high impact, dense foam, and that's what you want in a pad. I see a trend nowadays where everyone's trying to go less and less on material, less bulk, but that's not really what you want when it comes to protecting a joint from impact. So I see a trend now and I see a brand that a lot of you guys like, which is just nothing more than a knee sleeve. And knee sleeves are very comfortable. I hear a lot of feedback from you guys kind of dissing me for bashing Hydra knee pads, but it's just a knee sleeve. There's nothing impact absorbing about it. These are the ones I use for weightlifting, and that's all Hydra knee pads are. They're neoprene knee sleeves designed to compress the joint, which makes it feel very stable. That's why we use it in weightlifting. It holds the joint very well together while we're going under load, doing lunges, squats, something like that. So these are great at adding stability, keeping the joint warm so that it feels smoother. So yeah, these, I'll go ahead and tell you, these feel better than a knee pad because the pad is bulky on one side because it's designed to create distance between the ground and your knee joint. Do you want to get in a car wreck with as minimal distance between you and whatever you're running into? No, you want distance. You want space for the impact to come to a halt and slow down before you smack into it, right? Same principle when it comes to a knee pad versus a knee sleeve. These are like not the thickest, but they're not the thinnest either. They're kind of like the middle of the road, and I think the Hydras were either this thick or a little thinner. And we won't go into all the details of why you would pick different thicknesses for a compression knee sleeve, but I'm telling you that, let's see, this is, I don't know, at least half as thick as this padding is, and it's not designed to be hit from side to side. This is designed to like stretch and then elastically compress against the joint. So it's not meant, this material is not designed to take impact from the sides. This is, and that's why it's so important to make sure you're getting something that has a dense, high impact absorbing foam or other type of pad. So you want something that, again, creates space, not something really thin. You need that space because physics are physics. You don't want to try to define the laws of physics out there. So you need some space and you need something that's designed to start absorbing at the very beginning and get denser and denser and denser as it absorbs that impact. I digress. Let's go on to how these felt, how they protected me, and what my impressions are after using them for what my impressions are after using them for an entire year. So first thing is first, anytime you have a really dense pad, it's gonna be stiff. It's just kind of the design. I would say these probably could be a little softer, but I definitely took a few slides, especially on the indoor field that I play at where it's pretty slippery. I took a few slides and dives that did not go the way I intended in the moment. And I was very, very thankful of how good these are at absorbing impact, because there's just concrete under this indoor turf field. And so if I'd been wearing something not that protective, I would have gone home and probably for weeks, maybe even months, had a really bruised patella, something inside, meniscus, who knows. I could have definitely damaged something for quite a while. But thankfully, these did an awesome job at absorbing every bit of impact I encountered the entire season. The one thing I could say I think I would like to see different about these, my old knee pads, the original dies, had a oval shaped pad on them. So the widest part of the pad was at the kneecap. And I can see why these just kind of look cooler. So I can see why they kind of created this taper where it's a V all the way down. It gets thinner and thinner and thinner. It kind of follows what, the anatomy of the knee looks like. You got your thigh, your knee, and then your tibia, your calf. So everything's getting thinner. So it kind of follows the natural lines that your knee creates. But the problem is, if you ever slide on your side, you're not going to have very much protection on the side of your kneecap. And I did encounter that one time. It wasn't a big deal, but I did notice, that felt a little uncomfortable. So I didn't get hurt. It wasn't a big deal. But the next pair of knee pads that I buy, I will make sure have more protection on the side of the knee pad. So that's some feedback for anyone out there who is picking knee pads or manufacturing them. So comfort-wise, these are a little stiff, and they do kind of wear in, but they stay pretty stiff, which is honestly a testament to their rigidity, their durability, how they're going to hold up for a long period of time. These hold up very well. When you're putting them on, little tip, because there is very little material in the back here, they are pretty breathable, but your heel will often get stuck in here if you're just putting them straight on. So I like to twist them sideways to get them over my foot, and then either bring them all the way up to the knee and then twist on, or at least once they're past the foot, you can twist, pulling the rest of the way up. So little tip there for anyone who tries these out and are like, my foot keeps getting caught in this little area back here. Like, little tip for you, just twist it and then twist it back. These do get very sweaty, especially the padding side is not very breathable. That's a consequence of being nice and thick. So you're gonna get some sweat behind here, and you will want to use this elastic strap to keep them from coming down. You're also gonna make sure you size these appropriately. You do not want these being too big. Can't speak for what it might be if you get a size slightly too small. I don't know how well they'll stretch out, but try to make sure you get the best size that matches you without going too big. You definitely don't want to go too big. So this strap, there's a lot of Velcro space here. So, you can start at the loosest setting, and there's a lot of room to tighten and even reach past. So there's plenty of Velcro here to customize the fit, which does come in handy as you play more and more, or you're playing in hot weather. You don't want these things sliding down, and they will if you don't have this Velcro fastened. So you will appreciate that Velcro that's on there. That's a great design feature from Dye. So if I was going to get new pads, which I don't plan on for the 2024 season, I'm perfectly happy with these and plan on using them for quite a while. But if I was offered a free pair of pads, and someone's like, I want you to try these out and give us your review, Exalt is probably the brand I would go with. I have heard good things from you about, I think, Planet Eclipses. I've seen the carbons in person. I haven't worn them, but the carbons are actually better than the description and the pictures online made it look. So I'd be interested in trying those out. But Exalt stands out. A good friend of mine has a pair of Exalts. Several of you that I've talked to and have a pretty good relationship with, you have told me your personal feedback, and it sounds like Exalt is probably the next brand I would want to go for, particularly because they do offer that extra coverage on the side of the kneecap. So for that reason, I would want to try the Exalts out. But yeah, just to reiterate, I cannot stress this enough, and you might be questioning my qualifications as to why I feel qualified to speak on protecting the knee joint. Well, that's kind of my job, is protecting knees. And anytime we are, as fitness professionals, strength and conditioning coaches, I'm a weightlifting coach, Olympic weightlifting, anytime we're coaching people on doing squats or powerlifting, any kind of long-term loaded exercise that people plan on doing, we in general always tell people that a knee sleeve is a very good idea, and that's because it keeps the joint warm. There's a reason we warm up. The body performs and moves better when it is warm, so this is only going to help you move better simply by the benefit of keeping the joint warm. But it also provides that compression stability, so just little micro movements that you might not realize can occur, especially while you're doing more dynamic lifts like cleans and snatches. That compression helps hold everything together. And there's another benefit to wearing a compression sleeve, and that's the feedback that it gives your brain when you're moving. You feel what your knee is doing more when something is touching the skin around that joint. So I have no issue with people wearing compression sleeves even outside of a gym setting. If you are an older player, I actually saw a celebrity figure in paintball recently say that they wear Hydra knee pads, and that I get it, because I guarantee that person is not doing slides and dives and is probably not spending a whole lot of time on their knees either, kneeling and lunging and things like that. So these feel really good. They protect your knee, and they just make your knee feel better when you're moving on or off the field, in or out of the gym. So these have their place and they're great. But for anyone who is looking for knee pads because they want to protect their knee while they're playing paintball, and you are getting on your knees at some point, whether it's kneeling, lunging, sliding, diving, get a pad, not a sleeve, please. I'm only stressing this because I love you guys and I want everyone to be safe and enjoy paintball for years to come. And I've seen firsthand with my own experience and people I've seen at the paintball field, people who are in their teenage years doing potentially permanent damage to their knees because they did not wear something to protect their joints. So get better pads so you can play better paintball. I always forget to do a proper thumbnail, so let's... I don't know. Badass. 1 year later, one season down. Ooh, are we gonna go up? We're gonna go down? Where we at? We'll call that good.